Wizards, welcome back. Now, if you've been following along in any of our posts and discussions over on Discord, and probably this thumbnail and video is giving it away, but I've been really wanting to improve my actual pistol shooting skills. And from what I understand, there's really no better way to improve on actual real life skills than what shooting competitions do. But I don't know the first thing about pistol competitions, how to set up your gear. I don't know anything about all the rules and all that. So this is the first video in a series of competition shooting videos where I'm gonna learn it all, share with you guys the missteps so you can kind of learn what you need to have, learn the mistakes that I do, and break down some of those barriers to entry so it's easier for you to jump into it, and I'll just do all the dumb stuff first. Now for the pistol itself, what I really want, since I've been using so many Bul pistols, I want something that's familiar to like the TAC and the EDC, something I've already used, but then just takes that whole dial and turns it up to 11. And that level 11 pistol is exactly what we have today too, with the all new Bul Armory Blaze that'll show us what makes a competition pistol a little bit special. Like the TAC Pro is at its heart a duty pistol with some of that competition flair to make it fast and accurate, where the Blaze flips the idea on its head to give you a core competition pistol, but still some of the familiarity of the tactical side. Well, that's the idea anyway. And then if it does that well, it would help to break down those barriers and move even more seamlessly into competition. So we're gonna see if it does that, but first, let's take a moment, thank today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored in part by Javlin Concepts. Javlin engineers the future of how gear is designed, from the insane comfort of the Ajax 2.0 to the innovative features of their silent placard system. Their cutting-edge equipment gives the users the edge, all the way from home defense to the field operative, to blend function and comfort in a next-gen way. Javlin Concepts is just taking gear design, I'm telling you, up a level. What's really cool too is Javlin also stands behind their gear to give you a comfort guarantee, so they'll give you $100 off if the Ajax plate carrier isn't the most comfortable carrier you've ever worn. So if you want to take them up on that challenge and save a little bit, use discount code TLDco over on the Javlin Concepts website. So much love to Javlin to helping us pay for the ammo for this video and for helping to keep our voice unfiltered on the whole channel. Now though, we gotta talk about my biases because I think this is pretty important. Bul did send me this pistol for review, along with all the competition gear to learn and share that experience with all of you. I really enjoy the people at Bul and the quality of the products they're releasing. Now in the Bul lineup, there are some super pricey ones, like this Blaze is not cheap, but for a competition pistol, comparatively, this thing is actually pretty cheap. But what's interesting is, in their whole lineup, you can look through them between the TAC, the EDC, and the Ultralight to find something that fits your budget, but the price to performance ratio is gonna be absolutely insane. Like, where'd that TAC Pro go? Like if you told me you were only ever gonna own one pistol in your entire life and it was gonna be a Bul, well, you'd probably get a head nod from me. So I am insanely biased, but it's thanks to our Patreon supporters that I can say and do whatever I want. Like we could say this Blaze is horrible. We can say something's good. We can test it and do things however we want to do. So if you like our more unfiltered style, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter so we can make this whole channel crowdfunded and do whatever we want. Now, with all that also comes with one huge caveat. Don't take anything I say or any other YouTuber says as gospel. We're all biased in some way, even subconsciously. If somebody is telling you they're not biased, this one's important, they're probably selling you something. Do your own research so you can be the most educated consumer possible. Okay, it's all the hocus pocus out of the way. Now I kind of hinted at some of this towards the start, but let's answer the question of what the heck is the Bul Blaze? The Blaze is, at its core, a competition pistol, where fast is measured in milliseconds. And you have refinements in weight and controls to push the user's capability to the very limit, but still give you a familiar set of controls, trigger, and grip. And like I said, the whole point of this, I am reviewing this video, but the whole point of this experience for me is to see if the Blaze allows me to transition so much easier into the competition side, into the faster speed of things, because I'm already familiar with the TAC and the EDC line. We're just gonna crank things up and see how it goes. Well, that's the idea anyway, and we'll see as we go through the video. Okay, there's one piece I wanna note here too. Now, the Blaze is a competition pistol, but it's also specifically designed for certain divisions, and that's limited and limited optics. In Europe, like here in America, we use more red dots. In Europe, they use a lot more iron sights. And I don't know if they don't have red dots over there. I don't know if in Europe they have FUDs, but iron sights are super fuddy, so I don't know what's up with them. So due to the division it's designed for, there's no ports or comps on the Blaze, as those items throw you into the more pro-level open divisions. I've done my fair share of compound bow competitions, and jumping straight into open divisions, well, that would be challenging. Now, shooting your staccato or your tac pro in a competition is fine, but from what I've seen, the Blaze just takes things up a serious level or two. But it also does an interesting thing in that it's so good that you get an almost immediate feedback on what you're doing wrong and how to correct it. Now, the Blaze, yes, is that intermediate between tactical and a race gun, but from shooting it more, I think it was so interesting because the Blaze was that tool to give me the skills to move into the race gun. So you actually have the capabilities to use it. It was just very interesting, but let me show you some first shots and why I love this thing so much already. All right, so we're doing our first shots with the Bul Blaze. I have actually shot this out at GunCon, so it's not my first time shooting it, but it's my first time getting some actual real time with it. So let's see what this thing's all about. It just wanted to keep shooting. It's really, really easy to shoot, so I am absolutely looking forward to this review. Maybe just one more. Yep, that's gonna be fun. I'll be honest, after shooting the first set of shots, I didn't even want to do this review. I just wanted to keep shooting it. It was that much fun. I also want to give a big shout out to CR Speed for this belt setup. This thing is awesome. But tell you what, let's get the Blaze on the bench and go over it from barrel to Magwell, I guess, and see what makes this thing so special. Here's the Blaze up close though, and you can see the whole thing just looks over the top, eye-catching to kind of throw tactical and practical to the wind, and instead embrace sleek and speed with that natural silver finish. Starting at the slide, we see some aggressive cuts to give you a better grip, but also cut significant weight on the slide overall. The fact that the limited optic division doesn't allow you to have ports and comps means you have to find speed in a different place and play with weight in a different way. So the Blaze slide is actually the lightest slide that Bul has ever made. Now, we could get into the weeds about ammo and power factor and all that. It's complicated. Just know the slide being so light means you can focus on a caliber that is lighter and faster instead of having to move into heavier calibers. Like, yeah, you can use plus P ammo in this, but it won't really give you anything. Now, one thing I thought was kind of BS is that some competition shooters use this super light, I think they call it bunny ammo, so they can have the whole gun be a whole ton softer shooting. Now, what's interesting is since the slide is so light, you can use that super soft bunny ammo, or you can use regular blazer ammo like me as you learn a little bit more and move into the expensive stuff. I do think it's kind of lame. I mean, am I wrong that they're just using weaker ammo? I guess that's what competitions are all about. I don't know. I don't get that part. It's a little bit weak to me. Now, will I shoot sissy boy ammo later? Probably. Now, the serrations on the slide also have a unique design to allow you to aggressively grip, but also be shallow enough so you're not able to press so hard you can reach in and burn yourself on the hot barrel underneath. You'll notice the serrations are mainly at the front, as the rear has walled safeties, and due to the slide being so lightweight, these safeties keep your thumb from slowing down the slide and causing a malfunction. So that means you can also only do the cool guy press checks. I guess I can live with that. Now, from a duty side, I don't think walled safeties are wise because you'd want to be able to grab your slide from any position to clear malfunctions. But leaning harder into the competition space, you really want to stay away from the rear of the pistol so you don't accidentally change your optic brightness or whatever else weird that'll throw you off once you start the stage. I will share with you that you can absolutely have bad enough form to slow the slide down to where it won't cycle properly if you just jam your hands together like a total goon. Remember when I said that this thing will force you to be a better shooter? Well, yeah, that experience made me go back and have to rework my whole grip so I can actually shoot the pistol better. So, hey, thanks, Cajun. But I will say these walled safeties are more performance driven, so I bet we could see them on the TAC comp later on. Looking at optics, the Blaze comes with a front fiber optic sight and adjustable rear irons for our boys over there in Europe. But we're grown up, so we're not using that. And the Blaze uses something slightly different with the competition BAO variant. This style is just slightly longer than the standard BAO, but it still includes all the plates for RMR cuts, delta point, and all that, with its key magic feature of using the center lug to take the shearing forces off the screws. This whole BAO thing is just super smart. The longer BAO variant cut also means it can fit the Seymour RTS2 footprints that are more common internationally. Do I care about anything Seymour? No. Am I gonna buy one of those horrible hats and give it away to one of you? Probably yes. I'll start wearing the Seymour hat when I get my sissy ammo. I gotta stay focused though. But we use the RMR plate in the fantastic Holosun 507 comp in green to give a huge viewing window along with the Holosun competition reticle that I love. We did a whole video comparing a ton of pistol optics that I'll link to up here. And I'll say for large competition style optics, there's really no one competing with the 507 comp. It is just wonderful. So big thanks to Holosun for helping us put this together on this Blaze setup. All right, next we have the same Bul barrel from the tack line, but in stainless steel with the same crowning to increase overall accuracy and consistency. Now, also along the frame, there are holes in the Seymour footprint again, if you want to add in a thumb rest. I learned something fun when I was trying to test thumb rests for all of you. It is very difficult to find a thumb rest in the Seymour footprint. I also learned through this endeavor, much like pistol optics, there are different footprints for different thumb rests. I, much like optics, did not love that. But let's talk thumb rests for a moment though. Be very careful with these, as you can get a pretty massive training scar of just pushing down as hard as you can to try to control the recoil. That's not what you want to do. A thumb rest should not be used to make up for poor grip form. If you're going to use a thumb rest, from what I understand, it's really for getting a lot more consistency when making your grip. So I'm sure I'll play with thumb rests later, kind of share with my experience with all of you. But I just don't think that's something I would really use, outside of just trying to keep my thumb off the slide. But I think that's more a grip form thing anyway. Now though, if you do use a thumb rest, make sure the screws you use don't go past the frame. That'll shred the spring underneath and you'll have just a wonderful disaster. So check your clearance if you use those or just avoid them entirely like me. Oh, I also want to talk about this. Up front, we see there's no Picatinny section to add in lights. And that's because, well, it's not a duty gun, so you don't have to worry about shooting things at night. And removing that pick rail section gives you some pretty huge bonuses. Let me explain. The Tac Pro with its pick rail has to be lightened slightly to allow for some of the weight of the light to balance out the whole system. But that weight is in a poor position down low from the barrel, and it can be random as some lights may give more or less weight. So getting a perfect balance is pretty much impossible. The Blaze forgoes all of that and places the correct amount of weight as close to the barrel as possible. So you have the perfect balance from the front to the rear straight out of the box. Again, it's not a duty gun, so you can do some tricks here where you'd normally have to take some concessions on like the TAC or the EDC or a more duty-oriented 2011. And it's kind of why the Blaze is always gonna be a little bit better for competitions because it's just balanced for it. You're gonna see in the range footage too just how crazy the balance is. Like my red dot is just there every single time. It is a little bit nuts. Moving to the rear though, we already talked about the walled safeties, but I did want to comment on how these feel cleaner and have less overall pointy bits to just rest better in my hand. All right, next is the hammer. Now, this is the same lightweight competition hammer used in all the TAC and EDC line, but it's sprung slightly different to be lighter and account for the lighter weight slide. It's super slight, but you can tell the whole system is faster and lighter when you start shooting. Now, is it fast enough to save your life? Well, no, it's fast enough to win a shooting competition. I also hear stories about folks picking up cheaper 2011s like a Prodigy or something and changing out the slide springs to get more performance. Now though, if you don't also change the hammer spring, you're gonna be pretty limited on just how much performance you're gonna be able to squeak out of the system by just changing out the slide spring. So that is the biggest difference here, as the whole system runs a lot cleaner and faster instead of just trying to squeak and adjust one piece of it. Now on the rear, you'll also notice the grip safety is entirely removed. This is a completely different part, but having it gone made the whole grip feel more consistent and allow me to push the whole system a little bit harder. There's just less moving parts, not having the grip safety there. So it just felt a lot easier to get connected into the pistol and have just more anchor points to know if I'm in the correct position or not. Now, this is one of the first features I see where I look at it, I'm like, okay, that is 100% a race gun, because removing the grip safety on a TAC or just your regular 2011 or your duty pistol or whatever would be incredibly stupid. But since this is just a race gun, we don't have to worry about it. But it really shows you where the TAC shines and where the Blaze shines in their different feature sets. Now, under our grip safety is this ridiculous metal textured area to give extra bite on your palm and help you hold on to the entire platform. I think when you first look at this, most people are like, oh, cool, they added in honeycomb or whatever. But when you actually use this and understand it, you see it's far more callus-inducing. That damn honeycomb, as you grip, your palm flesh pushes into each one of these grooves, and each tiny hexagon edge bites onto your hand to keep everything just locked in place. It's certainly not for people with cake hands. It will absolutely improve your grip. I really do love this. And yeah, it'll also give you man hands in the process if you need that. And since this new area is metal, it'll also add some extra weight away from the fulcrum of where the pistol wants to rotate, so it'll help to control recoil. So yeah, not only is it giving you some man hands, but it's also making the recoil even better. Now, another bit that leans heavy into the competition side is the trigger. Here we see the same modular trigger as on the whole Bul line, where you can flip out the shoe, but it has been lightened slightly to about 2.5 pounds. Now, normally, I would tell you 2.5 pounds is a little bit ridiculous for a duty pistol, but I swear my TAC and my EDC are right at 2.5 to 3 pounds. I mean, this one may be lighter by like, maybe half a pound, but they are all pretty ridiculous. Moving to the mag release, you have the same style underneath, but the Blaze also includes this large paddle with the same grip cut into it in order to grab onto your thumb. I took this off though, because as a lefty, it just bites directly into my hand. I talked to Bul about it. They said I was just being a sissy, but seeing how I don't have any of that bunny ammo or a Seymour hat yet, I don't agree. It hurts. I'm using the new mag extension that'll be included with the TAC comp that works a little bit better for me as a lefty. So if you like this too, keep an eye out for it, as it'll be included and standalone with the TAC comp that comes out later this year. For the grip though, we see the same stippling and styling that Bul is just renowned for. The grip plants in your hand just so well, and I wouldn't want to see anything else. It is in a different color, but has all the same bits, just in gray and silver. For our last bit is the larger Magwell. This is a bit bigger than our duty counterpart to help aid in grip, while adding weight with those easy mag changes. Another thing competition shooters like to do is mess with the Magwell weight. By doing that, they can add more mass to it, keep the gun planted more into their hand, and by having more mass, it's easier to move around out in space. I've heard that. I don't know anything about it because I haven't messed with it yet. I'm sure we'll play with Magwell weights at some point and I'll get back to you. But that's the whole gun. And with this whole setup, you also get the Bul bag and 4 mags, eat that staccato, which is a little bit insane, and 2 additional springs to play with different weights, along with all the normal, what are these, Bul cleaning tools. Look at these cool guy stickers, Bul patches, these are my favorite, and just all sorts of other goodies. All the mags that come with the Blaze also use the extended end plate, and I think my favorite part is they can also be used interchangeably with all the other pistols. So you can use them in the TAC line, you can use them with the Blaze, you can use them with your EDC. So I love that they're all mixable instead of having some unique proprietary magazine for different pistols. I hate that. But let's do some actual shooting and let's go test the Blaze. And first, let's do draw to fire. I have to say this is bonkers. The balance just smacks you in the face. Even me being a novice at the scoop draw and working a whole new grip, the Blaze just pushes and pushes, encouraging me to drive a little faster, push it a little harder because it'll be there. The Blaze instantly felt just like an extension of my arm driving rounds down range. This is where the rubber really meets the road for me because, you look over everything and you see what they say and a lot of it's marketing and features and all that. But then you go out and test it and it performs not just well, but spectacularly. The balance is just so good. It's hiding all of my bad form and bad traits. But what's crazy is the red dot is just there right on center in the middle of target each and every single time. It was a little bit wild. But let's keep all of our tests going, and next let's do the return to zero. What I'm gonna do here is take a shot and then wait till the red dot actually falls back down on target. This is just see just how well the gun itself controls recoil and puts you back on center and how much you have to actually control it. All right, so let's test it. Here you can see for yourself that without ports or comps, it just uses a lightweight slide that is insanely balanced to return the pistol to the exact same spot every time. Just drill in the center. Like, yeah, that's not the fastest ever, but that's me seeing it fall, getting back in position and pulling the trigger again. That is phenomenal. With the return to zero, I think we again see that synergy where the Blaze just works so well, where it just feels like an extension of myself and it makes me look like a far better shooter than I actually am. All right, for the next test though, let's take a look at manual of arms. Now, okay, I am trying to change my form just a little bit, so I'm not going down so far. So I'm having to break a little bit of muscle memory. Just don't pick on me too much. We're gonna do some reloads and some multi-target. I've never used this belt in this configuration, so I'm probably gonna baby deer it a couple times. Now, much like I expected, all the controls are the same and still makes for quick and easy reloads and manipulation of the controls. That wasn't so bad. The large Magwell makes reload simple, even if you're bumbling your way through it like I am. All right, for this round, I'm gonna try and fix some of the way I reloads. I do some of them wrong, actually. What I'm doing is I'm coming way too far down, and really I should stay up here, and actually have a small dot right here that Sharon over at Bul told me about. I put a dot right here just so I could see the dot. That's as far as I need to rotate, and then come. That way I can get a more consistent draw. So let's see if I can do it right this time. I think it should be noted that the Blaze is so easy to use that I'm doing all these more abnormal things because I'm pretty confident in it and I feel like I could push it a little bit further and it's not all that difficult. I have some training to do there, but this weapon system just makes it happen. The manual of arms was superb, just like all the other Bul pistols we've done before. I will say though, the larger Magwell does make reloads feel just a little bit easier. Now, one thing I am noticing is there's just a whole lot more feedback coming back through the pistol. So I'm instantly feeling what I'm doing wrong and I'm recognizing it and then I'm able to correct it for the next round. So give me a few weeks and I'll get my form all fixed and I'll be able to do reloads again. All right, next let's do another fun one with the trigger test. This is gonna be a good time. Just like I'd expect, the Blaze is just crazy and that balance translates into a ridiculous speed. Yeah, that's amazing. They're all like dead center A zone. Okay, that was pretty impressive. Let's see if I can do it on 2 targets. Yep, it's super easy. Okay, I am focusing a whole lot on like my grip and how to shoot this right and the competition stuff and fixing some things. But I'm gonna throw all that to the wind and just shoot as fast as I humanly can. Here's the interesting thing about this gun. It's so polished that it's incredibly easy to see where you're making mistakes. Like on the last one, I could see I was tightening my hand because I was driving the bullets to the right. Most guns just aren't that consistent to be able to see just small changes like that and diagnose them that quickly. So I'm just gonna go shoot again and see if I can clean it up. Yep, that'll do it. I mentioned this at the beginning as the most surprising thing about the Blaze is that how it gives you that immediate feedback. Like you're gonna take some shots and then be able to see exactly what you did wrong and improve. So I really do think like novice and intermediate level shooters, if they came out and did just a few range days with the Blaze, their skills would just fly through the roof. Maybe one day I could have 1 or 2 of you viewers come out to the range with me and test the Blaze out with me and see if you have the same experience and see if your skills really do improve, kind of like what I saw. Now for the next test, let's do one that I think is a little bit silly, and let's go test accuracy. I mean, I know how it's gonna perform because it's been shooting laser beams all day. Here we set up at 15 yards and did some unsupported headshots because those rigs are stupid. We put together a nice small group and had, look at this, about an inch size spread. I'd say that's not half bad for me just standing there and wobbling all over the place. The Blaze can definitely shoot more accurately than I can. But that's our whole overview, and that's all of our tests. So let's do a super shocking one. What are my final thoughts after just spending the day and loving every bit of this? I have to say, the Blaze sings to me, and I haven't had this much fun in a long time. The Blaze just balances speed and performance so well to synergize with you in a way to build that confidence to push yourself past your limit. I never felt like the platform was holding me back, and I constantly was saying to myself, let me try that one more time, just because of how damn fun it is and because I knew I could go even faster next time. I think confidence is the key piece to a competition gun, right? I mean, I don't know, I'm still learning, but having so much confidence in the Blaze and what it can do means I'm not afraid to try something new or afraid to go into a new stage or do something I've never done because I know this thing already wants to go completely bonkers. Now, with talking about the Blaze and what I think about it, will the Blaze replace your duty gun? No, it is a competition gun. What you can use it for is to kind of blend that space between your duty gun and then move into competitions and move faster. But the piece I found the most interesting about the Blaze was the feedback. Like, yeah, competitions are fun, but it gives you so much immediate feedback that it's really, really easy to improve your shooting skills way faster than I could with any other platform. And on top of the Blaze, I loved this whole competition belt and holster setup from CR Speed. So stay tuned as we move into the next stage of our competition videos, and we'll go over this whole belt setup, along with some tricks our viewers showed me on how it varies compared to a more duty belt setup. Like, there's some similarities and some differences for sure. Like, the way I have this set up would 100% keep me from running in a sprint, but in a competition, it's not nearly as important as you think, no matter what somebody in skinny jeans is trying to tell you. I will end the video with this. I will say that the Blaze is my current new favorite pistol. Like, I think that one just resonates with me so much. I think I could do just about anything crazy with it. Now, we'll see how long that lasts with the new TAC comp coming out later on this year. So we'll see how it does and see if it still keeps its place as my #1. But I hope this video on the Bul Blaze was useful in your purchasing decisions and help you to break down some of the barriers to do competitions yourself. I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon and YouTube supporters. You guys make it possible we can go out and test all this gear, come back and show it to you, and break down those walls so that you guys can get more involved, I can get more involved, and we can all be better shooters overall. And I want to say thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the Blaze and what you want to know more about competition shooting as we lean into that. I want to hear about it because I want to make sure to talk about it and help you learn. All right, everyone, Walsh out. I really hope the end of this video isn't just like 8,000 bloopers of me not knowing how to work the timer like every single time I went to go run a drill. Oh boy, I'm glad I threw that in there. Okay, next videos, we're gonna be testing some suppressors. I have a small gap here. So there's been this myth that suppressors make you more accurate. And it kind of made me think, if suppressors do that, are people adding in suppressors to gun reviews to make those platforms look more accurate than they are? Or do suppressors not impact accuracy at all? Either way, I want to know, so we're going to test that. And I got some secret squirrel gear I can't talk about, but we're going to be some cool video releases. Tons of cool stuff. We'll talk about this belt. Make sure to join us on Discord too if you want to just talk more. We've been talking about all this. Guys have been in there helping me set things up, fixing my form, do some different stuff. We're always available there. So come join us on Patreon, come support the channel. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna head out. It is not a wonderful day out. And this guy's been tilling the field. He stopped like the minute I finished recording. Like, great. Thanks for doing that the entire time. All right, you guys are great though. Catch you later. If you need anything, come find me. All right, later.